Have you ever felt just completely powerless against your own physical symptoms? Like your body is this puzzle you just can't seem to solve? Well, what if there's a totally different way to look at healing? A way to take back control, not by fighting your body, but by commanding it. Okay, let's get right into it.
This one idea right here, this is the key that unlocks everything we're about to explore. It's basically saying that our biggest problem, the thing causing the most stress, is that we fundamentally misunderstand who we are. It's a pretty radical thought for sure, but it is the foundation for this entire approach.
So, if we're not the body, then what are we, right? Well, this first section is all about making that huge mental shift, a fundamental change in our identity.
Just look at this comparison for a second. The old view, the one most of us are used to, is I am my body. That makes you a victim of your symptoms, totally powerless. But the new view, it completely flips the script. It says, nope, my soul is in charge of my body. Suddenly, you're not a victim anymore. You're the commander of the ship. You're not just a passenger along for a bumpy ride, you're the one at the helm.
And this is absolutely crucial to understand. This isn't just some mental trick or a positive affirmation you repeat. According to the source, the effectiveness of everything we're about to talk about, all the techniques, all the commands, it all hinges on you genuinely starting to see yourself as something more than just a limited physical being. You have to lean into that feeling of being, infinite.
So let's build on that. Once you accept that you're the commander, the next big question is, how do you communicate with the ship? Well, it turns out your body is listening to you. It is constantly listening. And the concept for this is called cellular devotion. The idea is that every single one of your trillions of cells isn't just off doing its own thing. They're all tuned into you, waiting for your direction. And your thoughts, your beliefs, your words, that's not just background noise. To your cells, those are divine instructions. Now that's a powerful and maybe even a kind of startling statement, but it perfectly captures the depth of this idea. Your body doesn't question you. It basically worships you. It treats your inner state, your thoughts, your feelings, as the ultimate truth and then works tirelessly to make it real. And this shows that your body is this incredibly intelligent instrument. It's not betraying you with symptoms, it's communicating with you. Pain and illness are just signals. They're alerts trying to tell you what needs your attention. It's like it's holding on to old stuff for you, just waiting until you're ready. And the whole time, it's just waiting for you, the one in charge, to give it some new instructions.
Okay, so we've established who you are, and we've established that your body is listening. So now for the practical part, how do you actually give the commands to heal?
It all comes down to this 4-step framework. First, you listen. Not just to the pain, but to the wisdom behind the pain. Then, you reframe your language. After that, you command. You give clear, specific, loving instructions. And finally, and this is so key, you release. You let go of your attachment to how and when it's all going to happen. Let's dig into that reframe step for a minute because it's so important. When you complain and say things like, "Ugh, I'm so sick," or "my back is killing me," your body hears that as a command. It doesn't judge it, it just thinks, okay, that's the order, and then does its best to give you more of what you're focusing on.
Now, to see just how powerful this can be, the source shares this amazing personal story. It starts with a really bad back injury, and the medical prognosis was bleak, at least 2 weeks before you can even think about walking again, followed by a much longer, really uncertain road to full recovery.
But instead of just accepting that timeline as the absolute truth, she put this principle into practice. Every single day, she gave her body a clear command, reaffirming her role as the soul in charge and literally instructing her spine on what to do.
And the result? 1 week. In just 1 week, she was back to hauling logs and digging trenches, a recovery that was so much faster than what the experts predicted. And she attributes it directly to the power of these commands.
So, the takeaway here is that the quality of your command really matters. It's not about yelling at your body. You have to speak with love and acceptance. If you're feeling frustrated or desperate, you need to address those emotions first. Because your body feels the energy, the vibration behind your words, not just the words themselves. And be specific. Heal is good, but repair this bone twice as fast. Now that is a clear instruction.
This brings us to the final, and maybe the most subtle piece of the whole puzzle. It's not just about control, it's also about letting go.
And here's the paradox of it all. Even as you're stepping up to be the commander, you also have to surrender to a larger universal flow.
You give the command, you set the intention, and then you have to release your expectation of how it's all going to unfold. You let go of that need to control the outcome, and you allow life to surprise you.
Ultimately, the goal is to dissolve that boundary between yourself and the infinite. As you heal and release all that stored trauma, your personal will starts to align more and more with what the Source calls divine will, until you realize they were never really separate to begin with.
So, this leaves us with a pretty profound question, doesn't it? It takes all this theory and makes it immediate and personal. If you truly, genuinely accept that your body is always listening, that every thought and every word is an instruction, what new commands, what messages of love and healing are you going to choose to give it starting right now?